can you please explain guidance? Yes, AZ Jackie, I would love to explain guidance. Actually, it would be my pleasure because it's so damn important and everybody needs to understand what guidance is. So if you guys don't understand what I mean by guidance, no problem. That's why we're on these live streams, right? So you guys can learn and you can ask me questions and we talk about it. So when a company comes out with their earnings, they're going to give you their earnings for the last quarter. So the last 3 months of business, the company's going to say, this is how much money we made. This is how much money we lost. This is what our revenue was. This is what our subscriber count was. These are the increases. These are the decreases. And they're going to give you all their financial information, everything that you're going to see, all of it. But when they're done giving you their earnings, what they then do is they give you their guidance for next quarter and for the rest of the year. So a company will say, okay, this is what we did the last 3 months. This is what we expect to do the next 3 months and or what we expect to do the rest of the year. So you have next quarter's guidance, and then you also have fiscal year guidance. Fiscal year is going to be a company's entire fiscal year. Okay, what their calendar year is for their accounting for one business year. What is that expectation going to be? And then you also have quarterly guidance, which is where a company will just say, this is how much money we expect to make. This is how much money we expect to lose. This is how many subscribers we expect to gain over the next 3 months. That would be the next quarterly guidance. Now, the reason why guidance is so important right now is because everybody is worried about a recession. Everybody is worried that the economy is slowing drastically. Everybody is scared that a recession is coming, if not here already. So all investors are ears open, listening to companies. What are the companies? What are they seeing? Are you seeing a slowdown? Are you expecting a recession? Are things weakening for you, or is everything still okay? So far to this point, the companies that have released earnings have been JP Morgan. JP Morgan said the consumer is strong. Small business credit's the best they've seen. Citigroup, they came out with earnings. They beat earnings by $1 billion. IBM came out with earnings. IBM's CEO said, we do not see a slowdown. IBM went down, but that was because of currency issues, because the US dollar is so strong. It hurts companies that do a lot of business and get a lot of their revenue overseas. That's why IBM went down. But IBM's CEO said, we don't see a slowdown. Taiwan Semiconductors, they actually raised their guidance for the rest of the year. So far, you've had companies where, whoa, the earnings aren't that bad. That's why the market has rallied over the last week or so, because the earnings that came out so far were expected to be horrible, but they were actually not bad at all. This report from Snap, is this a little overreaction? I think so, but that shows you how skittish the market is right now. That shows you the soft footing that the market is standing on, because Snap didn't lower their guidance. They didn't say we see a massive slowdown. They just said we're not going to give guidance because we're not sure. If you guys recall, when COVID hit, every single company took away their guidance. Apple even took away their guidance because nobody could give any type of realistic, accurate guidance because they had no idea when the economy was going to reopen or when COVID was going to settle down. So if you guys recall, during COVID, all companies, they stopped issuing guidance. Okay, they suspended guidance. So now Snap is doing the same thing. Snap's like, we're not going to give guidance. Does that mean that they're going to see a slowdown? Not necessarily, but it's fishy. It's fishy. If they expected a good quarter, they would have told you that they expect a good quarter next quarter. And the markets are now scared about that. That's why now people are like, well, that can't be good for Alphabet. That can't be good for Meta. That can't be good for Pinterest. That can't be good for Twitter. That can't be good for any of these companies. That's why now the markets are moving lower. That's why all these big tech companies are moving lower. The earnings that we've gotten so far have been just a small piece of earnings. Like, you've only had about 15% of the S&P report earnings so far. And if you include it by market cap, it's actually a lot less. By market cap, because all your mega companies haven't reported yet. If you go by market cap, it's like 10 or 11% of the S&P have reported earnings so far. So yes, earnings so far have been good, but you got to see what happens once the big boys report.